A week ago, I entered to my usual marketplace. I looked for Arduino Uno R3CH340, a board that I needed for a project. I received this Arduino-compatible board of Chinese origin, which I have previously worked on many occasions with good results. I looked at it for a few seconds, and physically I didn't notice anything different from the ones I've worked on previously. I connected the board to my computer with my USB cable. I opened my Arduino software. I opened the blink example to blink a LED. I selected the Arduino Uno board. I selected the COM port where it is connected. And I clicked on Upload to the board. However, the Arduino software kept showing the message, updating, and would not allow me to upload any programs to the board. I asked myself then, could it be that the bootloader file is not loaded on the microcontroller? I have at my disposal a programmer called USBASP, generally used to program microcontrollers with AVR architecture. Then I connected it to the ICSP port of the Uno board, to load the bootloader file, and be able to use this board with the Arduino development environment. And in my Arduino software, I went to Tools. In the Programmer tab, selected the USBASP, and clicked on Burn Bootloader. The system output gave me a message indicating that the signature of the microcontroller that I am programming does not correspond to that of the ATMEGA328P microcontroller, which usually comes on Arduino Uno and Nano boards. I was then left thinking, but what could be happening? Just to verify, I opened my AVR Dude SS program, normally used in conjunction with the USBASP programmer, to program multiple microcontroller references. In the program interface, I selected the USBASP programmer, selected the USB port, and left the data clock as is. Then I clicked Detect. And the system output told me that it detected the ATMEGA328PB microcontroller. I realized then that this chip is not the ATMEGA328P, but the ATMEGA328PB variant. I asked myself then, could it be that they mistakenly confused the microcontroller when assembling the Uno board? Since physically they are very similar. I went to the Chinese website AliExpress, and typed in the search engine, ATMEGA328PB, and yes, in China they are manufacturing these compatible boards for Arduino with the ATMEGA328PB microcontroller. I searched on the internet for the main differences of this PB variant, compared to the already known P reference. I entered the Polola link, and I realized that unlike the well-known ATMEGA328P microcontroller, which usually comes on Arduino Uno and Nano boards, the PB variant has two UART serial interfaces, and has support for the QTouch functionality from the microchip company, that is, the capacitive touch function for the pins of the Arduino board. So I told myself, I have to learn how to operate this board, in case the Uno R3 boards evolve into this type of boards. With the USB-ASP programmer connected to the Uno board, and to the USB port of the computer, we go to File. Preferences. Click on Additional URLs of the board manager, and click on the link to list the manufacturer URLs different from Arduino. In the Internet browser, a list of URLs for boards from other manufacturers is displayed, organized alphabetically. We look for the resource called Minicore, where it shows us a series of variants of microcontrollers, among which is the ATMEGA328PB. We copy the URL. And we paste it into the manager, separating it with a comma from the URLs that were previously pasted. We click Accept, and then Accept again. The system tells us below that the index with the information of the resource to be installed is being downloaded. At the end of this download, we open the board manager, and in the search bar we write Minicore, and we can now see the required resource, where it tells us that it can program the PB variant, among some other ATMEGA328 variants. Then we click on Install, and wait for the installation to complete. Once completed, we can close the board manager, and go to Tool. Board. And here we can see the tab with the name Minicore. We select the ATMEGA328 controller. And by entering Tools again, we can already find additional settings for this microcontroller. We can leave the BOD parameter as configured. The bootloader parameter, we can select it in, yes, UART0. The clock parameter, I will configure it with the internal 8 MHz oscillator. The EEPROM parameter as is, just like the LTO compiler parameter. And in the variant parameter, we must then select the 328PB variant. In Programmer, we select USBASP. And finally, we click on Burn Bootloader. The system output tells us that the bootloader burning has finished. From this moment, we can see the LED built into the board flashing in this way. This tells us that the bootloader file is already loaded in the board's microcontroller memory, that is, that this UNO R3 board can receive programs from Arduino software via USB port, without the need for a programmer. So, we remove the ASP USB programmer, and connect the board to the computer's USB port. In the blink example I will set a 100 millisecond delay. Then we go to Tools, and in the Board tab, we ensure that the ATMEGA328 is selected. And in the Port tab, we select the port where the board is connected. Finally, we click on Load Program, and that's it. There the LED is flashing according to what was programmed in the Arduino sketch, indicating that this board can now be programmed from the Arduino development environment just like conventional boards. A special greeting friends, see you in the next video.